Bianca Belair is opening up about turning heel, so we'll see what she had to say. We'll also check out what's new with the Judgment Day, John Cena, and more. Let's start things off with Bianca Belair and her comments. So over the last few weeks on SmackDown, the discussion and fan speculation about Bianca Belair turning heel has picked up a lot of momentum. It just seems like the perfect time to shift her character in a new direction. And even the story itself appears to be hinting at and teasing the idea of Bianca Belair snapping more often and more aggressively than ever before, which has fans really wondering if we'll be possibly seeing a complete and full heel turn from Bianca Belair, possibly sometime this summer. There was that report in early spring that Bianca Belair and the Street Profits were all allegedly set to turn heel before 2023 ends. There's been no follow-up to those previous reports. The only thing we have to go by has been Bianca's recent storyline and actions, which all do appear to be hinting at the heel direction for her. But Bianca Belair recently spoke with the Daily Mail, and she was asked about turning heel. A reference was even made about how John Cena didn't turn heel due to his impact outside of the ring with operations such as Make-A-Wish and his connection with the younger WWE fanbase. Bianca said that she's in a similar position that John Cena was in and had this to say about that topic of turning heel. Quote, "Very similar feelings. It's a feeling that sticks with you outside the ring. We can't be inside the ring every hour of the day. Those are things that mean the most to me, the impact I have outside. I have the same feeling that he felt. I hear everybody like, turn heel, and I'm like, end quote." So that's Bianca Belair's reasoning for being hesitant about turning heel. And it's a very fair point. Bianca has a massive impact outside of the ring, especially on the younger audience and the younger fans. All those fans dress up like Bianca, they look up to her. She's like a role model and a superhero to them. So that's what Bianca has in the back of her head when she thinks about turning heel. Turning heel would basically mean turning her back and abandoning those massive portion of her fan base, which could be extremely difficult to do. That's mostly why John Cena simply couldn't turn heel himself. It would have just shattered those young fans and other things like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So it's definitely an extremely tough decision, especially for superstars that have such a deep connection with the younger fan base. But history does tell us that it's still possible and it's been done before. Bayley is a good recent example of one of those massive superhero babyface that abandoned her fan base. Babyface Bayley was a massive hit with the young fans, immediately in NXT and on the main roster. Everyone was dressing as Bayley, wanting to meet Bayley, but then Bayley turned heel and has been a successful heel for several years. And it's just tough because, like Bianca said, it's hard to turn your back on those fans. But at the same time, it's really impossible to stay as the same character in WWE for your entire career. The Undertaker said himself that WWE is all about evolving your character and staying fresh. So it's a really tough call, and we'll have to see what ends up happening there for Bianca Belair and if she will turn heel after all. As far as a tiny update for John Cena's status, a lot of fans were curious if his Money in the Bank return was a sign that John Cena will be sticking around for a Summerslam feud. But reports claim that it was apparently just a one-off appearance for John Cena, and he won't be sticking around for any matches. With the recent Judgment Day chaos and tension, it has fans wondering who's on whose side within the group. There was that shot from the July 3rd edition of Raw that shows Finn and Damian yelling at each other, while Dominik and Rhea sit on the floor, looking up at them and seeming all confused on what to do and who to side with. So it's clear that Finn and Damian are not on each other's side, but how about Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio? Well, as of this very moment, it seems like Rhea and Dominik are leaning towards more Damian Priest's side. WWE even had a little behind-the-scenes Instagram clip from the July 3rd Raw edition, and the clip shows Finn Balor storming through the curtains backstage, while Rhea and Damian were helping Dominik walk after his match. And that short clip is perfect for telling us where this story's at right now. Sure, Damian Priest is not fully innocent. He came out there during Finn versus Seth to cash in on any of them, including his Judgment Day partner Finn Balor. So yeah, that was pretty messed up and does give Finn a reason to be upset. But despite Damian Priest pulling that little stunt off, Priest has also been very supportive to Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio. He still cares about the core of the group and is still standing with them. Finn Balor, on the other hand, has just gone full lone wolf and rogue in recent weeks. He doesn't come out with them anymore. He went to the back ahead of them. He intentionally ruined Damian's cash-in, and so on. So that's why Finn Balor appears to be the real outcast here. The other three members don't appear to have any issues with each other. They're all looking at Finn Balor as the weird one for acting up and being alone. That's why when we're talking about this storyline, a realistic payoff and endgame could be Finn Balor getting kicked out of the group since he's already doing everything on his own. But if WWE really wants to crank up the tension and really put everyone on an island within the Judgment Day, maybe they could start some issues between Rhea Ripley and Dominik. Rhea and Dominik have been extremely happy and in love with each other, with not a single issue for several months now. So if Rhea and Dominik start having some issues and disagreements with each other, that'll really make things more complicated because now it'll be Finn having these issues with Damian Priest, and even Rhea Ripley and Dominik no longer really getting along. That would be real chaos, because now all four members will have at least one big issue with another member. So that'll be something to consider there for the Judgment Day that could get their situation more messy. But as it stands right now, it appears to be Damian, Rhea, and Dominik all together, while Finn Balor is basically on an island by himself. Finn Balor is also being rumored to possibly get another crack at Seth Rollins soon. And if that turns out to be true, that should keep this tension and conflict between Finn and Damian at an all-time high, because Damian will still be lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect time to cash in. A lot of fans think that we could possibly see Finn Balor win the world title only to be cashed in on by Damian Priest. And although that would be pretty amazing, Finn completes his revenge story on Seth Rollins and gets back a world title for the first time in 7 years, only to lose it moments later to Damian Priest, kicking off the Judgment Day's Civil War. It just seems a bit too predictable, especially since they're already teasing that sort of scenario at Money in the Bank. But either way, if Finn Balor remains in the world title scene, his issues with Damian Priest don't look like they'll be gone anytime soon. So be on the lookout for more twists and turns there, with the Judgment Day situation becoming more and more out of control as SummerSlam gets closer. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with Bianca Belair and the Judgment Day? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.